Howdy, nerds. So, I'm just gonna say this real quick. There has been a lot of debate in the comments after seeing this. Obviously, Hinoka here, this new variation of her alternate form, is a Kinshi Knight. And I'm just going to dive into this because why not? And it's really late at night, and I'm really excited to see her. But a lot of you have, of course, been pointing out that she is a Kinshi Knight. And that is something very odd considering the fact that, well, we don't have the character that introduced Kinshi Knight being added into the game. So instead we got Hinoka, which, for me, alternate forms are cool. I like them a lot. But of course, we're still, it's really odd that we're missing the character that would introduce that. I'm of course talking about Reina. As you can see, they have a lot of similarities and you can kind of tell from their armor, of course. But yeah. A little bit of a weird one there. I'm sure Reina will eventually get her shot to show up in the game as a Kinshi Knight. I mean, they've kind of already gone through the trouble of adding the, bird creature that they fly on. So chances are she'll probably be up there sooner or later, I hope. But a lot of you were commenting about that, and I figure it's kind of a fun thing to look at because technically we've been getting a lot more alternate versions in characters and, banners that are not seasonal, i.e., permanent, and therefore kind of is a weird little thing and pattern that has been developing lately with these banners. Just to give you an example, we're going to go back into the past, okay? I personally love alternate versions. I don't mind it. I love Hinoka, and seeing her in a new form is cool to me. However, it's really up to, debate. If you really like alternate versions, feel free to tell me in the comments, and if you don't, maybe explain why, but be civil. Don't get... I had to police a lot of comments because people were getting all butt flustered over this. Anyways, so technically, for the last few permanent banners, when it comes down to characters added, there has been a pattern emerging and something that's been kind of noticeable. Granted, the first one is a little bit less of an example and more of something that just kind of is obvious. So we're going to go back to January. This, of course, is the trailer from that banner. This is World of the Dawn, which is based on Radiant Dawn. And, of course, it had, pretty powerful characters. We of course, got Micaiah, and we got Soth, and, all those other ones. But then there was one standout that I still remember people getting a little weirded out by, and that's because it was technically... this one makes a little sense to me. It's Zelgius, of course. It's the Black Knight. But it's just him, but better, basically. And simply put, it was really odd to see this, and, I'm sure a lot of people will point out, like, it's just him, it's his armor's damaged, why isn't he wearing the armor that he has in, not Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn, but technically it is a sequel, so this whole thing just kind of slid by, for the most part. Zelgius, of course, being the Black Knight, just different. He's a little bit better, that's essentially what that is. So yeah, a lot of you were, of course, to point that out. But the true thing is, the next permanent banner that came along was, of course, Sacred Memories, which came out, and that was the banner that had a lot of people going, what the heck? So this was, of course, a banner that everyone will remember because it added, of course, our first ever flying dragon, our green Myr, who, a lot of people still use to this day. She's one of the great dragons, and we got La Rochelle. But then after La Rochelle showed up, a lot of people were a little bit weirded out. Just by a few things, and I'm sure you can probably see what's going to pop up. A lot of you will probably remember. And we got another variant of Erica. You see that this pattern is starting to form a lot more. In fact, the last few banners for the last few months have been something eerily similar to a lot of what you're seeing right now. To give you an example, I still have the trailers, which is just kind of sad in some ways. I just have to dig them up. God, so technically, we're going to go all the way over to the Branded King, which would technically be the next banner, and like the banner before the current one. And of course, this one added a lot of the other characters. Of course, it's kind of similar to what we have right now. We have, of course, the children, the children of the main avatar in this one. That, of course, being Morgan, both male and female in this banner. We had, male, we had female, lad from afar. But namely, we had another version of Crom. which actually was pretty cool. I didn't mind that too much. And you can kind of see that things were going on from here. I'm also skipping over, of course, the Fell banner, which had, the evil units in there, and that had Robin and Celica as evil variations of themselves. And you can tell right now that even if there is a banner with characters that have never been introduced and characters that have not been picked out from games like, Thracia, which of course we also have over here. This one, of course, introduced Leaf and all those other characters, but that didn't stop them from introducing characters like, there's Nana, and then suddenly we not only have one alt, but we also have two, Olwen, and then finally also, of course, Reinhardt, who, is back and is ready to show that magic is not everything. He now has a sword. That's basically what I'm trying to say here. And, well, it raises the question of if why exactly this is happening. And the simplest thing I could think of is, well, obviously they want to work off the popularity of units that they have available. Reinhardt really became popular. He rose to popularity simply because of heroes. Olwen, I'm sure, probably, something that they could work with too. I don't really know if she was that popular, but I'm guessing they figured they could probably do her a little bit better there. And still, nonetheless, it seems to be something that's happening a lot more now. And I'm not talking about Brave variations either, because those are technically special units chosen by us, and from the polls and things like that. But I have noticed it. And I'm sure a lot of you have noticed as well that alternate versions are going to keep coming, probably. In fact, I expect it from here on out, when it comes to any of the new banners that are permanent, we may very well be getting new variations of characters for a long time. New versions of every character that you can possibly imagine. And Hinoka is, of course, just another stepping stone in that variance. Not that I'm against it, but I do want to, again, I want to see and I want to hear what you guys think, because that really set off a lot of you in the comments. Not a bad way, just kind of a lot of you were discussing that. And I figured it would be fun to see where everyone, what everyone thinks about this. Because obviously I don't think they're going to be stopping. I don't think they're going to stop producing variations, alternate versions, because technically it's they don't want to burn through their whole catalog of characters right away. But I am noticing that they are kind of hesitant to include characters that are, from the game itself, a little bit more. They want to try and add more variety, I guess. And while Hinoka eventually got re-added to the game, again in a new form, this time as a Kinshi Knight, it doesn't necessarily mean that Reyna won't come in another future update. It's just kind of a shame that Reyna kind of got a little bit shafted here when it came to being added to the game. That's just my opinion, but I still love Hinoka. But this is simply how it's probably going to be for a while. In fact, I don't expect any banner from here on out that is a permanent one to feature any, a whole cast of new characters. I expect at least one variant as time goes on, just to extend the life of heroes. And that might be either a turn off or a turn on for several of you. Personally, it's a turn on for me. I love Hinoka. But feel free to put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'm going to be heading out for now. Thanks for watching, nerds. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.